Hello everybody, Eric again. Like and subscribe. Here we go. Let's continue reading about the David Bowie song Heroes. Promotion and release. Filmed appearances. After undertaking no promotional events for Low, Bowie promoted Heroes extensively. In early September 1977, he agreed to perform the title track on Mark Bolan's Grenada television series, Mark, which was recorded on the 9th of September and broadcast on the 28th of September, following Bolan's death in a car crash on the 16th of September. This version has an alternative backing track that was recorded with Bolan playing lead guitar and the T-Rex lineup of Dino Dines on keyboards and the rhythm section of Herbie Flowers on bass and Tony Newman on drums. It was released as a 7-picture disc on the 22nd of September 2017, 2 days after filming the Mark appearance. Bowie appeared on Bing Crosby's television special, Bing Crosby's Merry Old Christmas, performing Heroes and a new duet with Crosby titled Peace on Earth / Little Drummer Boy. Crosby died on the 14th of October before the special was broadcast on Christmas Eve 1977. Bowie later quipped, "I was getting seriously worried about whether I should appear on TV because everyone I was going on with was kicking it the following week." On the 19th of October, Bowie appeared on BBC's Top of the Pops for the first time since 1973, performing Heroes using a new backing track featuring Visconti on bass and Sean Mays on keyboards. Bowie sang live over the backing track with none of the band present. He sang the song again on the Dutch program Top Pop and the Italian programs Odeon and Al Ultra Domenica later the same month. Single and other releases. RCA issued Heroes as the lead single from the album on the 23rd of September 1977 with the album track V2 Schneider as the B-side. Its shortened 3 minutes and 32-second edit, which begins at the third verse, was made in the hopes of more airplay. A 12 promotional single containing both the single and album versions was released in the US by RCA as JD 11151 the same year. On the Heroes album, issued on the 14th of October, the song was sequenced as the third track between Joe DeLine and Sons of the Silent Age. The song's promotional music video was directed by Stanley Dorfman. Shot in Paris, it features footage of Bowie in a dark room against a backdrop of white light and wearing the same bomber jacket he wore on the Heroes cover artwork. Peg compares the final result to Liza Minnelli's performance of Maybe This Time in the Berlin-based 1972 film Cabaret. Bowie recorded new vocals for the track in both German and French, with lyrics translated by Mass for the German release. These singles, titled Helden and Heroes, respectively, were issued in their respective countries in September. Additionally, for the album releases in Germany and France, the vocals were grafted onto the full-length tracks, following the opening English verses. The singles released in a variety of languages and lengths achieved what the NME editors Roy Carr and Charles Shaw Murray called a collector's wet dream. Despite an intense promotional push, Heroes only reached number 24 on the UK singles chart, remaining on the charts for 8 weeks, and failing to chart at all on the US Billboard Hot 100, albeit reaching a low number 126 on Record World singles chart, 101 to 150. Elsewhere, it charted in Australia 6, Austria 19, Belgium Flanders 17, the Irish singles charts 8, the Netherlands 9, and New Zealand 34. Later releases. Heroes has subsequently appeared almost invariably as the single edit on numerous compilation albums, including The Best of Bowie 1980, Changes Bowie 1990, The Singles Collection 1993, The Best of David Bowie 1974/1979, 1998, Best of Bowie 2002, The Platinum Collection 2006, Nothing Has Changed 2014, and Bowie Legacy 2016. The full album track was remastered with its parent album for inclusion on the 2017 box set, A New Career in a New Town, 1977 to 1982. The single edit was included On Recall 3, part of that box set, were the German single, French single, English-German full-length, and English-French full-length versions were included on an EP in the same set. Additionally, the English-German version of the song appeared on the soundtrack to the film Christiane Act, 1981, and on the Where album in 1982, while the German single version appeared on Sound Plus Vision, 1989. Critical reception. Initial reviews for Heroes were mostly positive. Like Low, Sound and Vision, some viewed it as the most commercial track from Heroes. Some welcomed the song as a classic addition to Bowie's catalog. Record Mirror's Tim Lott deemed it regal and a shocking, dreamingly powerful song that stands out as the album's best. He found the lyrics are in a sense throwaway, but display simple heroism. Brick by synthesize, brick it builds into a Leviathan, a monster track that sucks you in and spews you out grinning. Chris Needs of Zag Zag magazine also considered the song a monster track, with its end result being magic. Ira Robbins went further in Crawdaddy magazine, hailing the song as Bowie's best song in 3 years, praising the instrumentation and vocal performance, and highlighted Eno's contributions among the track's best features. In the Los Angeles Times, Robert Hilburn wrote that despite the daringness of Heroes as a whole, the title track contains compassion and some fleeting hope. A reviewer for Billboard deemed the song one of the album's best tracks. Writing in Het Parader, American musician and author Patti Smith praised Heroes as a pure and wonderful track that exposes us to our most precious and private dilemma. She predicted that it would become the theme song for every great movie that would be made, remade, or yet to come. Charlie Gillett gave the single a mixed review in the NME, saying, "Wow, he had a pretty good one for our money for a guy who was no singer, but I think his time has been and gone, and this just sounds worried. Then again, maybe the ponderous heavy riff will be absorbed on the radio, and the monotonous feel may just be hypnotic enough to drag people into buying it. I hope not." The magazine placed it at number 6 in their list of the year's best singles. Retrospective appraisal. Heroes has greatly grown in stature in the decades following its release. Peg and O'Leary note that it was not until Bowie's performance of the song at Live Aid in 1985 that it became recognized as a classic. Buckley describes this rendition as the best version of Heroes Bowie had ever sung, reviewing the song for All Music. Ned Nagget described it as angrily Bowie's finest song and a true classic, writing that with Eno, Fripp, and Visconti, Bowie crafted an anthem emphasized with German influences while still using the dramatic power of rock and roll. Analyzing his vocal, he wrote, starting with an almost conversational tune. By the end of the song, he's tuning in a perfect performance that could almost be called operatic, yet still a chingly, passionately human. Pitchfork's Ryan Dumble described Heroes as an immortal track all about fleeting wonders, while Ultimate Classic Rock's Allison Rapp found that over time, the track became one of rock's most loved anthems of hope. In the list ranking every Bowie single from worst to best, the same publication placed it at number 1. In Consequence of Sound, Lauren Phillips stated that the track expectantly captures the hopeless reality that nothing lasts, and that we will all die, and that we all must die, and also the inherent beauty in the fact that we all live and love in our time despite that fact. Bowie has said that Heroes is one of his favorite songs ever written, finding it unevitable that his music would be influenced by the song. While Depeche Mode's lead singer, Dave Gahan, was hired into the band when founder Vince Clarke heard him singing it at a jam session. In his 2023 book, Discover UK, Shoegaze, and Dream Pop, the author Vernon Johnson cited Heroes as showcasing an early form of shoegaze, stating that the song features the type of noisy production with distorted and reverberated guitars and a dreamy hazy atmosphere, all of which became key ingredients of shoegaze. Like critics, Bowie's biographers praise Heroes as a classic and one of Bowie's best tracks, with the author, Paul Tronka, calling it his simplest, most affecting, and most memorable song. Bucky encourages it as Bowie's most universally admired song, and in 2015 wrote that the song is perhaps pop's definitive statement of the potential triumph of the human spirit over adversity. O'Uri states that the song is Bowie at his most emphatic and desperate, a wish chant that offers a tiny regency for the spirit. Despite this, biographers mostly pan the shortened single edit for diminishing the song's power. O'Leary argues that the edit weakens the song, as the build-up to the final verses is shortened, noting that Bowie's heroic vocal starts roughly 2 minutes earlier than the full album version. Pro agrees that the edit, which starts at the Dolphins lyric, destroys the song's pacing, tension, and impact, making it not make as much sense. He further criticized the decision to shorten the single, noting that other highly successful singles of the rock era, such as the Beatles' Hey Jude 1968, were longer than the full-length version of Heroes. Following Bowie's death in January 2016, Rolling Stone named Heroes one of the 30 most essential songs of Bowie's catalog. Likewise, numerous publications have considered the song one of Bowie's finest, with NME, Uncut, and Smooth Radio, labeling it his greatest. Others including Consequence of Sound, Digital Spy Mojo, named it his second best, behind Life on Mars 1971. In 2018, the readers of NME voted the song Bowie's fourth best track. The Guardian's Alexis Petridis placed it at number 5 in the list ranking Bowie's 50 greatest songs in 2020. He recognized the track as a weird, ambitious song with an uplifting sporting montage soundtrack, a McCritty that turned 6 minutes of pulsing electronic noise, howling guitars, and scream vocals into an all-purpose air-punching anthem. Accolades. In the ensuing decades, Heroes has appeared on lists of the greatest songs of all time, and a list of the 100 greatest singles of all time. NME placed it at number 5. In a similar list, Uncut found it the 16th best single from the post-punk era. In 2004, Rolling Stone rated Heroes number 46 in its list of the 500 greatest songs of all time, later moving the song up to number 23 on the 2021 list. NME placed it at number 15 in their similar 2014 list. Time included it in their 2011 list of the all-time 100 songs, while Pitchfork featured the song in the Pitchfork 500, a 2008 guide to the 500 greatest songs from punk to the present. In lists ranking the best songs of the 1970s, NME and Pitchfork listed the song at numbers 4 and 6, respectively. The UK's Radio X also ranked it the 12th best song of all time in 2010, and the 7th best British song in 2016. Later chart success. Shortly after Bowie's death, the song charted in numerous countries worldwide and became his most streamed track on Spotify. In the UK, it reached a new peak of number 12. The song spent 2 weeks on Billboard's Hot Rock and Alternative Songs chart in the US, peaking at number 11. Its highest positions were number 3 on Billboard's Digital Songs Sales chart, number 8 in Scotland, and number 9 in France. Elsewhere, it was charted in Italy 17, Switzerland 17, Japan 18, Germany 19, Ireland 29, Portugal 32, Australia 36, Sweden 37, and Spain 59. In Italy, the song was certified gold by the Federation of the Italian Music Industry. Heroes also peaked at number 37 in France in 2015. Live performances. Heroes remain a staple throughout Bowie's concert tours. He later encouraged the song's impact on live audiences. In Europe, it is one of the ones that seemed to have special renaissance. During the 1978 Isolar 2 and 1983 Serious Moonlight tours, the song was usually the second number performed rather than among the show's encores. Performances from the former half seen released on stage 1978 and Welcome to the Blackout 2018, while some from the latter appeared on its 1994 concert video and later on Serious Moonlight Live 83, released as part of the 2018 box set Loving the Alien 1983 to 1988, and separately the following year. Following Live Aid, Bowie revived Heroes for the 1987 Glass Spider Tour, as seen in its accompanying concert video, 1988. The performance on the 6th of June 1987 at the German Windstag in West Berlin has been considered a catalyst to the later fall of the Berlin Wall. Bowie called it one of the most emotional performances I ever done in 2003. The song made subsequent appearances during the 1990s Sound Plus Vision 1996 to 1997 Earthling, 2000 Mini, 2002 Heaven, 2003 and 2003 to 2004 reality tours. A performance from the reality tour saw release on the accompanying DVD and live album, released in 2004 and 2010, respectively. Another from the Montreux Jazz Festival on the 18th of July, 2002, was released on the box sets I Can't Give Everything Away, 2002 to 2016 and 2025. Outside his tours, Heroes was performed at the Freddie Mercury tribute concert in 1992 by Bowie, his former guitarist, Mike Watson, and the surviving members of Queen, Brian May, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon. Bowie played a semi-acoustic version at the 1996 Bridge School benefit concerts. The 20th of October rendition was released on the Bridge School Concerts Volume 1 album and the Bridge School Concerts 25th Anniversary Edition DVD. The song was also sung at his 50th birthday concert in January 1997 at the Glastonbury Festival in June 2000, which was released in 2018 on Glastonbury 2000, and the performance 2 days later at the BBC Radio Theatre, which went unreleased into the Berlin Adventure 1992 to 2001 box set in 2021. The song was again performed in 2001 at the Tibbetts House benefit concert and the concerts for New York City. Cover versions and tributes. Heroes is cited by Peg as Bowie's most covered song, after Webble Webble in 1974. Artists who have covered the song on stage or in the studio include Nico, The Smashing Pumpkins, Travis, Arcade Fire, and Blondie, whose 1980 live version featured Fripp on guitar. In 1997, Oasis recorded a cover of the single version, which appeared as a B-side of their single, Do You Know What I Mean? It was sung by Noel Gallagher, who wrote in his diary that the song connected with him because it actually said something, and the lyrics, We Can Be Heroes, / Just for One Day. The Wallflowers recorded a version for the soundtrack to the 1998 monster film Godzilla. This version released as a single on the 21st of April 1998. Peaked at number 10 on the U.S. Billboard Modern Rock Tracks chart in 1998, as well as number 27 on the Billboard Hot 100 Airplay chart, and number 23 on the Billboard Mainstream Top 40 chart. In Canada, the single topped the RPM Alternated 30 for 6 weeks, and reached number 13 on the RPM Top Singles chart. British duo Dom and Nick directed the song's music video. The Wallflowers cover was positively received, with the Billboard editor Larry Flick writing that it beautifully eliminates the heart-tugging quality of the lyrics, but noting the lead singer, Jacob Dylan, failed to replicate the irony and edge of Bowie's version. Artists who have covered Hilden include Apocalyptica, Let's Instance, and David Hasselhoff. In 1997, the American composer Philip Glass adapted the Heroes album into a classical music symphony titled Heroes Symphony, utilizing the title track as the root for the first movement. The same year, Aphex Twin remixed Bowie's original vocal onto Glass's adaptation for release on the Japanese 3-inch CD single. The LCD Sound Systems Along All I Want 2010 is directly based on and is dubbed a tribute to Heroes. Pitchfork writer Ryan Dumble dubbed it the ultimate tribute. finer than a million covers. At Bowie's own request, TV on the Radio covered Heroes in 2009 for the charity album War Child Heroes. A year later, Peter Gabriel released a stripped-down version for his covers album Scratch My Back 2010. The same year, the Series 7 finalists of the X Factor released a version for the Help for Heroes charity, which reached number 1 on the Irish, Scottish, and UK singles charts. Peg Pan, this version, has introduced a new generation to David Bowie by subjecting one of his greatest songs to the anodyne arrangements, Eurovision key changes, and Samurai Curry karaoke leveling, which are the core ingredients of the X Factor's ongoing mission to eradicate real music from planet Earth. Following Bowie's death, Heroes became a favorite at tribute events and was covered by artists such as Coldplay, Blondie, Lady Gaga, and Prince. He performed the track regularly shortly before his own death in 2016. On Twitter, the German Foreign Office paid homage to Bowie for helping to bring down the wall. Depeche Mode subsequently released a cover to commemorate the song's 40th anniversary, with Dave Gahan stating Bowie as the one artist who I've stuck with since I was in my early teens. His albums are always my go-to on tour, and covering Heroes is paying homage to Bowie. King Crimson, who had added the song to the live set in 2000 when the band consisted of former Bowie players Fripp and Adrian Belew, recorded a version for their 5-track EP Heroes live in Europe 2016. Motorhead also released a version on their 2017 album Undercover, which was recorded in 2015 during the recording sessions for Bad Magic, and one of the last songs recorded before Lemon's death that same year. Also in 2017, a cover by the Australian band Gang of Roofs was featured in the trailers for the film Justice League. Further covers have been released by Hollywood Vampires for their album Rise 2019, sung by Johnny Depp, Neil Finn in 2020 during the COVID-19 lockdowns, and previous Bowie collaborator Moby in 2021 for his album Reprise. David Byrne St. Vincent and Arcade Fire performed Heroes as a medley with Arcade Fire's Wake Up during Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary concert at Radio City Music Hall on the 14th of February 2025. Bye for now!